The queens, including the previously eliminated queens, enter the workroom together.
It's a new day in the workroom, and I'm back. It still doesn't feel real. I thought it was over, but here I am. My drag mother Elisa is still here, of course. She's on track to win by now, but I'll be coming back and taking that from her. Hee hee. I'm so excited. Kagaman, tell me what needs to be done to rejoin this competition, quick.
All of the eliminated girls are joining us, evidently. We saw them yesterday in Untucked, with Mrs. Piggy, but before we could talk we were taken to our rooms. What's going on here?
Nikolai looks at Arsene, winks, and says first things first, before walking towards the vanity with him. The remaining queens look confused, but Celestia looks scared, and chases after him.
We got to see some interesting footage after going home, and I have a bit of a bone to pick. I got Arsene to help me because he's the only bitch that was allowed to bring a literal weapon into the workroom for some reason. I asked him in my hotel room yesterday. It's a long story that Sato doesn't want to hear, haha.
Nikolai brings back one of Celestia's bags and places it on the table, ignoring Celestia's shouting to put it back. Arsene takes off his heel and cuts it open, revealing one of Venti's runway looks stuffed inside.
Okay, so what I took it. He shouldn't have had it just hanging like that, and it's not like I damaged it. If he had looked harder he would have found it.
Nikolai returns the garment, and Venti looks absolutely pissed, gritting his teeth. Celestia turns white.
I didn't get to know Venti very well in my time here. Is he usually that angry? He looks like he wants to kill someone. I did see that footage of Celestia stealing the runway look. That was messed up. I hope Venti doesn't hurt her though, haha.
Venti doesn't say a word, and after several seconds of awkward silence, Mafuyu Sato turns to Zip, saying he's so excited that Zip is back after how things went week 1. Zip thanks him, saying that he's going to do whatever it takes to return to the competition this week. Camilla looks over to Zip, and asks if they've been told there will be a returnee tonight, and Zip nods. Chun-Li abruptly cuts into the conversation, glaring at Spinel and facetiously congratulating her for her second win.
There's a lot to unpack in this workroom evidently. But we're gonna start with me and Spinel. I don't think she wants to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it. I don't take no for an answer.
Spinel takes a deep breath, and says that she's sorry about the way she spoke to Chun-Li the week she went home. Chun-Li says sorry doesn't mean shit, and that Spinel is the reason she went home. Camilla quickly says that Chun-Li can't talk to Spinel like that, but Spinel tells Camilla it's okay, and says to Chun-Li that she can't do anything about it now but that she wishes she had done things differently. Elisa rolls her eyes.
This girl can't be serious. I'm sorry, but you don't get to blame another bitch for your elimination, you just don't. Yes, Spinel was overpowering in that challenge, and she probably should have been in the bottom with Chun-Li for it. But it's Chun-Li's own fault that she couldn't rise past that, and to be that bitchy to Spinel about it, just to then not accept a sincere apology? She's doing too much.
Chun-Li says that it'll be okay when she returns this week and Spinel goes home. Spinel's face drops, and she immediately fires back, saying that she's sorry about what happened to Chun-Li in episode 2 but that she's not going to take the fall for her elimination, and that she doesn't get the bitch pass just because she bombed the challenge and lip-synced. Camilla smirks.
Oh, you better fucking tell her. I'm sure a lot of these eliminated girls are bitter boots, but let's be clear. They went home and we didn't. I'm not gonna entertain pity parties. If you don't want to get eliminated, keep your padded ass out of the bottom or turn out a lip sync. Sorry about it.
I know I was out of line at the start of this competition, and I'm genuinely sorry. But I'm not just gonna stand there and have venom spit at me because Chun-Li is mad she went home. I just won the lip sync challenge, and it's not like Chun-Li gave an all-timer performance. If I had been in the bottom with her I would have sent her packing just like Emolga did.
Chun-Li says they'll resolve this on the runway, and Spinel rolls her eyes. Vanessa cuts in, and asks Celestia how it felt to be in the bottom last week. Celestia looks to her and giggles, saying Vanessa knows how it feels to be in the bottom, but she doesn't know how it feels to win the bottom 2 lip sync. Vanessa just shakes her head, saying she isn't going to let Celestia get under her skin like she did the first time.
Well, welcome back to our eliminated girls.
Unfortunately. Girl, did they forget to lock the door on set? They were sent home already. Get lost.
We missed each and every one of you, and I've heard that a lot of you don't agree with your elimination. So I'm asking you to put your money where your mouth is and work together with your remaining sisters in this competition. In order from Zip to Ione, you'll each choose your partner in this challenge, and together you'll walk the runway in looks made to match each other and show a family resemblance.
Yes, a look challenge. This is my way back into the game.
Now, eliminated girls, choose your partners.
I wasn't here for long, but I know who I connected to while I was, and I'm gonna go with Mafuyu Sato.
I knew Zip would choose me, and I'm thrilled. Some queens would be worried, being paired with the first out. But I know what I'm doing, and we both have more to show than anyone here thinks.
Looking around the room, there's one queen here that I feel I can match my aesthetic to. I choose Arsene.
Chun-Li is definitely sickening, but she would not have been my choice. The fact is that she's temperamental, and I don't think I can trust her to focus on the challenge.
Now that I'm back in the workroom, I have to show that I'm versatile enough to return to the competition and win. I can't fall into old habits, so I'm sorry Elisa, I choose Vendi.
I definitely expected her to choose me, and I would have loved working with her, but I understand. She doesn't want to be compared to me again. It's part of why she didn't do well in the beginning. I'll still be rooting for her, she's my daughter.
I suppose now that she's been separated from that witch, I'll work with my DBA sister, Camilla.
Me and Vanessa really did get along, even with all the messiness from Celestia. Her aesthetic is as clean as ever, and working with me, I think she has the best chance of getting back into the competition of anyone. Her and Nikolai really did go before their time. We'll remedy that tonight.
There's only one queen I really trust with my fashion clown aesthetic, and that's Spinel. I'll bring the fashion, she'll bring the clown, and we'll take the crown.
Why is he speaking in rhymes? Thank you, Mother Goose.
I'd actually have chosen Arsene or Venti if I had the option, but even though she wasn't my first choice, I do think me and Spinel can do something great together. I'll just have to add a little bit more cunt to her Ronald McDonald couture.
Well, one of these queens hates me, and the other one will probably cut up my dress just for fun. I'll go with Elisa.
I'm a professional. Come on Elisa, you're a professional. We'll talk it out, and then we'll storm the runway together. I already have some ideas. As frustrating as Ione is to me, she has one thing down, and that's her aesthetic.
I can't believe nobody chose me. I know I've burned bridges, but I also burned my fucking gown last week. I have talent. They don't have to like me to know that I'll take a win and bring them back. That's their loss. But wait, those numbers don't add up. Celestia Ludenberg, we'll have to fetch you a partner. Oh, Piggy. She insisted on that entrance. Celestia Ludenberg, your partner this week will be our production bodyguard, Mrs. Piggy.
Oh, how the great have fallen. Me and Camilla are set to win the challenge, and Celestia is working with a pig in a wig. Bye, sis.
The queens split up to work on their looks for the challenge. Camilla, Vanessa, Spinel, and Nikolai work at the same station. Camilla asks Nikolai how it feels to be back, and he responds that it feels correct, since his exit was so shocking. Vanessa adds that her exit was also a shock, since both of them had a challenge win, and Camilla says that both of them were in a way taken out because of Ione. Spinel says damn that squirrel, and the queens laugh.
I think everyone here knows that my elimination was a fluke. I really was on track to make it to the end. Well, good news, now I can. Tonight is a foregone conclusion. I'm back, and the other girls should be scared.
Vanessa asks Camilla to show her the looks that she was planning to use tonight, and she brings them out. Vanessa says that they're almost perfect, and asks Camilla if she can modify them, which Camilla agrees to. Vanessa takes a fabric knife, and roughly cuts into the sides of the garments several times. Camilla gasps, nearly falling backwards.
Jesus fucking Christ, I know Vanessa's aesthetic. I trust her to successfully do distressed fashion, but warn a bitch first. I hope she knows she's reimbursing me for the cost of the garment. Though I am really excited to wear it like this. I've never explored this kind of look before.
Vanessa does the same to the second look, and starts taking her look in to be properly fitted. Nikolai asks Spinel what look she was planning, and Spinel shows it to him.
Spinel, sister, you know I love you. I'm not wearing that, but I think we'll find a middle ground.
Nikolai says that it's alright, but he thinks it would be better to use his look. Spinel argues that the point of the challenge is for her to make him over. Nikolai says that Kagamine Rin only said they needed to match their styles and have family resemblance, and he thinks that his aesthetic will impress the judges more. Spinel sighs, and asks if instead the two of them can modify her look to his liking and meet in the middle, and Nikolai agrees.
I know that Nikolai is eager to rejoin the game, but I'm definitely frustrated that he immediately dismissed my runway looks. These are great garments, my runways have stepped up since the beginning of the competition. I'm glad we met in the middle, but I have a feeling he's going to get more than he gave.
Elisa, Emolga, Ione, and Venti are working on their outfits, with Venti sewing a new look for Emolga to match his aesthetic. Elisa is on the ground fitting Ione to her look. Ione speaks up, telling Elisa and Emolga that she's sorry for talking poorly about Emolga. Elisa says she doesn't think she can forgive Ione, and Emolga tilts her head, saying it wasn't that big of a deal. Elisa darts her eyes up.
How can she not care? The level of disrespect from Ione was too much, it was so frustrating. She can't talk about Emolga like that, period. I can't believe that Emolga is downplaying it. I won't accept it.
Elisa turns her head and asks Emolga what she's talking about. Emolga continues working on her outfit, saying that she didn't really care, because she had underperformed, so it's not like Ione was wrong. Elisa stands up.
We got to watch all of the footage. I know what Ione said, it just doesn't really matter to me. It was hurtful for a second, but this is drag. I don't get to be immune to shade, especially given my performance. I don't understand why Elisa is so heated.
Elisa says of course it's a big deal. Ione was disrespecting Emolga in their house. Emolga says that it was just light shade, and there's really no reason to be so upset about it. Elisa raises her voice, and says that Ione had no right to shade her daughter. Emolga says that she's more than just Elisa's daughter, and that she isn't immune from shade just because she's Elisa's daughter. Elisa gets visibly frustrated, and Emolga tilts her head a bit. Venti says that everyone should just calm down, but Elisa ignores him, and shouts that Emolga can't just let people walk all over her. Emolga gets a bit quiet, saying that she isn't, it just didn't bother her. Elisa snaps, and shouts that if she wasn't such a doormat she wouldn't have been the third bitch eliminated. The room immediately goes silent. After a few seconds, Emolga starts crying, and Venti takes her to another station to work away from Elisa, glaring at her as he leaves. Elisa stays quiet for a bit longer, before taking a deep breath and going back to working on the outfit for Ione.
Elisa is really slipping, her temper is getting shorter every day. I apologized hoping it would make things easier, but she seems even angrier now. I'm gonna need her to focus up. I need to win this week and come back.
Arsene is fitting Chun-Li for one of his bodysuits. Mafuyu Sato and Zip are working at the same station, and Sato comments that nobody seems to be giving Arsene attention as the frontrunner at the moment. Arsene shushes him and says to quiet down or the others will realize, and Sato laughs. Sato finishes Zip's outfit quickly, and asks the other two what they think. Arsene says it looks great, though he still thinks that his is better, and Sato and Zip smile. Chun-Li responds that it's not what she would wear, but it definitely fits the brief. Sato asks what edits she would make if it were her look, and she said for one thing she'd actually wear makeup instead of lip balm and prayers. Sato chokes for a second and then starts laughing.
He's a pretty boy, so I get that he can get away with it, but at least get some bigger fake lashes. I'm shocked with how good he made Zip look though. I mean it's no secret that Zip is far from high fashion, but Sato did him up a good bit. Me and Arsene though, there's no contest.
Okay, gag me a bit. Maybe I should do more with my paint. But I won't do it in this challenge. This is about branding and I need to stay as I am for the time being. The judges like my no makeup look, I can't risk it just yet. On the off chance that Chun-Li is the girl returning, I'll let her beat my face next week. But I'll be real, I don't see that. I love Arsene, and I know that with what I just said about branding I'm throwing stones in a glass house, but this look is the same as a lot of his other ones. They're in catsuits, corseted down, wearing the knife heels. We've seen this before in a different color. He looks fierce as always, but it gets samey. My makeup doesn't change a lot and I don't wear a lot of it, but every look I've shown has been different from the last, including this one.
Zip glances over to Celestia's station and sees several scraps of fabric, and neither Celestia nor Mrs. Piggy fully in drag yet and Mrs. Piggy leaving the station. He looks back to Sato and asks if his look is finished, and Sato says yes, and that he just has to put finishing touches on his own look. Zip hops down from the table and moves over to Celestia's station.
I'm about to rip my hair out. I can't get her to agree to a single outfit or makeup choice. She says it's not camp enough, it's not glamorous enough, it's too dark-sided. First of all, you pig in a wig, I am the definition of glamour. I've kept my composure through this competition, that's my whole thing. But I think if I hear one more bit of cackling I'll lose it and kill someone.
Zip hops up onto Celestia's station and asks what's wrong. Celestia rolls her eyes, saying that he should be focusing on his own group and needs to leave her so she can get her work done. Zip says that not much work is getting done, and asks why she hasn't started her makeover yet. Celestia gives in, and says that she can't work with Mrs. Piggy because their aesthetics are too different, and she's impossible to get to agree to anything. Zip responds that them being different will just make it a more impressive transformation for both of them, and that maybe she should try wearing something like what Mrs. Piggy wears, because the judges have never seen her like that. Celestia asks why she should take advice from the pork chop who flopped a fashion challenge. Zip says that coming into this competition he knew he was nothing like the other queens here and that he didn't have their level of polish, but he didn't let that stop him from making new friends. And that if he had, then himself and Celestia wouldn't be friends. Celestia pauses for a few seconds, before smiling at him and going to fetch Mrs. Piggy.
I know that helping Celestia isn't a very smart move for me, I should just let her crash. I know that she's done a lot of cruel things to some of the other competitors here. Maybe I'm naive, but I like to try to see the good in people, and I think I got through to her. Celestia and the other girls are my friends, I don't like to watch them struggle.
Celestia brings Mrs. Piggy back to the station and says that Zip can go now, and that she appreciates the pep talk. Zip says that he isn't a great seamstress, but that he's an expert in camp, and he'd be happy to help her with the outfits since his is complete. Celestia hesitates, but decides to let him stay and give advice.
I feel crazy, I mean, I must be. But what do I have to lose? I don't need the company of other queens to do drag, but it's not like anyone else is dying to talk with me, and it'll be nice to hear a voice other than that fucking pig. Plus, camp is far from my specialty. I may as well get a bit of advice from the only person willing to give any, and if I land in the bottom maybe I can convince Mrs. Piggy to light herself on fire. Not for the lip sync, just to get a nice meal for the crew.
Hello my loves, and welcome to Cartoon Drag Race Philippines. I'm one of your beloved hosts, Kagamane Len. Please welcome your beautiful judging panel this week. The other half of our sickening judging duo, it's Kagamane Rin. The queen with the best body tea across all franchises, it's Christy Montiero. And finally, Christy's Season 10 makeover partner, the queen with the best PPE in Cartoon Drag Race Her Story, two-time pork chop, he is Chief Wiggum. Thank you both so much for joining us.
I'm so nervous, but also excited. It's my first time walking this runway in weeks, and it'll be in front of Christy. I've met her before at one of my and Elise's shows. She was actually supposed to open for us at one point but had to drop out when she got the call for Cartoon Drag Race Season 9. I'm so happy to see her again.
In tonight's Maxi Challenge, the queens were tasked to make over one of their previously eliminated sisters in an effort to bring one of them back into the competition. One queen was paired with our lovely production bodyguard, Mrs. Piggy. But without further ado, let the judging commence.
Venti, Camilla, and Celestia Ludenberg slayed the challenge.
High drag, just like usual, and Emolga was so delightful. We really made a moment on the runway, she swooped in from the sky to tear away my reveal. I think this is my challenge, and we'll see a certain girl back in the workroom to bring some light back.
I took Zip's advice, and it worked out better than I'd ever expect.
I've never looked like this before. I felt a little silly at first, but when I walked the runway I just felt glamorous, and the judges were gagged to see me in glittery pink drag. I looked like a goddamn sorority girl, and I doubt I'll ever do it again, but it was fun while it lasted, and Piggy impressed me for sure.
That runway felt like home. Me and Camilla really turned it out, as expected. Return of the DBA girls perhaps? But without Uncle Fester.
Spinel, Mafuyu Sato, Arsene, and Elisa were great in the challenge.
Sato's style of drag isn't something I'm used to, and the judges seemed shocked at how good I looked. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or an insult, but I just know we stunned. Everyone looked great this week though, we're definitely a talented cast.
Legs, legs, legs. Nobody else sold sex like me and Arsene. The judges were practically blushing while we sold our looks. We looked stunning, but shockingly, so did everyone else. This return might not be as sure as I thought it was.
My queens, I have made some decisions. Spinel, you're safe. You and Nikolai may both leave the stage.
Honestly, I'm crushed. I fear the Kagamine twins just made a mistake, but it's not a problem. This isn't the last you'll see of me. The fashion clown will take over the world.
The rest of you are the tops and bottoms of the week. Now, it's time for critiques. Camilla and Vanessa, please step forward.
Vanessa, you won week 1 with your unique style of fashion, and seeing it translated onto Camilla, I'm reliving how amazing that presentation was. The two of you managed to combine your aesthetics so perfectly.
Camilla, you've always brought polish to this runway. Every box is ticked, and every detail is precise and perfect. This is another example of that. Everywhere you look on this outfit, it's just perfection.
I'm an expert in body tea, as we're all aware. The corseting from both of you is so impressive. You're naturally very beautiful, but it's the little enhancements that really sell it. Vanessa, Violet Chachki is in shambles looking at your waist. This is body tea. I'm still not 100% sure what body tea means, but I know it when I see it.
Arsene, please step forward.
The runway presentation was great, and you haven't looked bad a day in your life. This is exactly what I expected from you, but that's not necessarily a good thing. The look is all there, but I can't help but feel like you're repeating yourself.
I agree with what my sister said. And I understand that this is a branding challenge, but your brand has to be more than catsuits and legs. Arsene, you're definitely a strong contender right now, and Chun-Li, this is the best you've looked on this runway. Don't take this as a deconstruction of your drag. I'm warning you before it's too late to show some more versatility.
I haven't been here personally, but I have been watching, and while yes this is similar to a lot of your runways up to now, it's not just one of your looks in a new color. You do what you do very well. I don't fully agree with that being held against you.
Venti, please step forward.
The way you and Emolga tore up the runway tonight exemplifies perfectly why you're such a frontrunner here. That was high-level drag and fashion, and we could tell that you planned this to highlight both yourself and Emolga equally.
That flying tearaway was amazing. Venti, in your time here you've shown things that no other girl has on this show before. You have such an eye for fashion and theatric performances, and we continue to be impressed every week. Don't let this dip.
In my opinion, you were the strongest of the week by a good margin. From start to finish you kept our eyes on you, there wasn't a boring moment and you showed the strengths of yourself and your partner. This is the level of drag that we need to be seeing on a global scale like this.
Elisa, please step forward.
Elisa, you look beautiful tonight. But I mean, it's just that. You look beautiful, but Ione looks very average. It's like you made her look like your less glamorous stepsister. This is a makeover challenge, you both need to be equals, and if one girl is highlighted more it needs to be your partner.
Elisa, you know I respect you a lot, and you know you look damn good tonight. Ione looks good too. You're capable of more than this, and I'm definitely disappointed that you didn't really try with Ione. I do know from watching that you two don't get along, but in a competition like this you have to be able to put that aside. Regardless about how you do or don't feel about Ione, working with her was best for your game and you lost sight of that. Focus up, don't let the game play you.
We're somewhat splitting hairs because you both look good, but it kinda seems like Ione was fitted in the leftover scraps of your outfit. It's hard to criticize when everyone did great, but I do think that you were the worst this week for that reason. Your look was about the same quality as Arsene for example, but Arsene made a point to make Chun-Li look as good as he did. Ione's look is half-assed compared to yours.
Celestia Ludenberg, please step forward.
Celestia, just wow. This is something we'd never expect from you. You always look beautiful, but this isn't something we knew you were capable of. When you ended up assigned with Mrs. Piggy, I honestly thought it might be a siren song because we haven't seen you exit your comfort zone before. Amazing job.
I'm blown away by your look tonight. And I don't want to ignore what you did with Mrs. Piggy. I know you were having trouble in the workroom with her, but you really put that aside and brought her into full glam. After being in the bottom last week, you knew exactly what fucking time it was in this challenge, and I'm proud of you.
Every inch of these outfits is glittered and stoned. This must weigh more than you do. It's the perfect mix of glamour, camp, and just plain absurd that I never knew you could do. And you look absolutely amazing like this.
Mafuyu Sato, please step forward.
You look great tonight, and this is the best we've ever seen from Zip. Albeit we don't have a ton to compare to. I think I've stressed enough that nobody did bad at all this week. We have to look into details. There hasn't been much evolution with your mug, and I understand the natural style, but it does get boring after a while.
Most of the queens on the runway this week had some sort of special runway presentation, and most of the ones that didn't were more elevated. You two ended up being a bit forgettable, except for the shock of Zip being as stunning as he is right now. You really can't let yourself fade into the background when there's this much talent, because you end up falling very far behind.
I don't have much to say about your makeover except that it's very well done, and that unfortunately means you didn't burn into my memory much. I could see myself forgetting your looks after leaving, unlike a lot of these other girls. That being said, very good job on translating your drag to Zip.
Alright my queens, now that we've let you know our thoughts, it's time to decide your placements this week. Venti, tonight you and Emolga gave this panel everything we needed from you and more. Celestia Ludenberg, the versatility and transformation you showed on the runway this week with Mrs. Piggy is some of the best seen up to now. Camilla, you and Vanessa blended your aesthetics better than anybody else on this stage. Celestia Ludenberg, congratulations, you're the winner of this week's challenge.
Oh my god, I just got my second win. I can't believe that of all the challenges and all of the looks, this is what did it. This better go to show the other girls that I'm not a one-trick pony, and I don't need sabotage to win. Does this mean that nobody will rejoin? Hallelujah.
Venti and Camilla, fantastic job this week. You're both safe.
God fucking damn it, I was so close. This felt like my win. And Celestia stole it from me, just like my damn runway. But I won't let this distract me. I'll be heated right now, and by the time we start Untucked, it'll be back to focus. Focus, Venti. Focus.
Celestia Ludenberg, because you won this week's challenge without a partner. It'll be up to you to decide which of the eliminated queens will return to the competition. Zip, Chun-Li, Emolga, Vanessa, Nikolai, and Ione, please step forward. Celestia, who will you bring back into the race?
3 of the people in this lineup have experienced my karma, they crossed me and they got what was coming to them. I think they know they have no chance regardless. But earlier in the workroom, I had a moment of weakness that's uncharacteristic of a lady such as myself, and my win tonight can be just as much attributed to this queen as to myself or Mrs. Piggy. I'm not exclusively a cold bitch, so is my thanks. Zip, I choose you to return to the competition.
Oh my goodness, I never would have guessed. Celestia never seemed like the type to do something like this. I was kind to her because I see her as my sister and my friend, and I suppose it worked out. Thank you, Celestia.
Well played, Celestia. I played the game like an expert, but after it all, it seems like I've been outplayed. I think the viewers at home know it should have been me, and I'm at peace with that. I'll be rooting for you, I mean it.
I came so close, I'm crushed to have to leave again. But I know I did all I could, and I'm happy for Zip. I'm sure he'll bring energy to the workroom just like I would. Win it for us, sister.
Zip, congratulations, you've been given a second chance. You may leave the stage. All of this means that Elisa, Arsene, and Mafuyu Sato, you're the bottoms of the week.
This is so annoying. I've been very consistently strong up to now, and despite my little argument with Elisa, both her and Sato are my close friends here. Especially Sato, if you know what I mean. There's no outcome here that doesn't crack my game in some way, even if I'm not in the bottom.
Elisa, you were beautiful tonight, but your partner's makeover bordered on a make-under. I'm sorry my dear, but you're up for elimination.
Oh shit, Elisa has been untouchable up to now, she's the only girl here who is never in the bottom 3. I hate to say this, but if she were to go home here it would really open up the competition, wouldn't it? Then again, we saw how she performed in the SmackDown. Getting rid of her here won't be easy.
Arsene, tonight on the runway you were stunning, but you failed to excite us. Mafuyu Sato, you've been resting on pretty. Arsene, you're safe. You may leave the stage. That means that Mafuyu Sato, you are up for elimination.
Okay, this is my third time in this position, but every time up to now that I've lip-synced I've proven why I deserve to stay. This is my stage, this is my moment.
I'm the front runner in this competition, but I'm not planning on slacking in this lip sync because of that. I'll show each bitch here that the house of Nimbasa is a house not to be fucked with. I'm not going home.
The time has come for you to lip sync for your life. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
The lip-sync song is Brand New City by Mitski. During the lip-sync, Mafuyu Sato walks to the back of the stage and kisses Arsene. Mafuyu Sato slayed the lip-sync. Elisa had a good lip-sync.
My queens, I have made my decision. Elisa, Shantae, you stay. You may leave the stage. Mafuyu Sato, you have an amazing career ahead of you. Take this momentum and soon you'll rule the world. Now, sashay away.
This is Untucked.
The queens enter the Untucked lounge, with Zip running in first and jumping onto the table.
I know it might not seem like it, but I really am crushed that Sato was eliminated. I just know that I can't focus on that right now. I just returned to the competition. This is a huge opportunity and I'm determined not to waste it.
The queens congratulate Zip for returning to the competition, and he thanks them. Arsene jokes that Celestia does have a heart after all, and the queens laugh. Camilla congratulates Elisa on surviving the lip-sync, and as Elisa thanks her, she notices Venti giving her the side eye. Elisa glares back, and asks what that face was about. Venti says that he thinks Camilla worded it properly by saying surviving, because Sato clearly outperformed her. Zip looks worried, and says that Venti should let her have her moment and not say something like that. Elisa smiles and tells him that it's okay, and adds that Venti is an expert on undeserving lip-sync wins, so he should get to speak. Camilla chokes on her drink.
Undeserving? I'm sorry, but if you were paying any attention you'd see that I basically lit the stage on fire. She gave us point and turn realness. Elisa's track record won that lip sync, and that's the tea. It's not shady if it's a fact. Good for her, happy to see her still here, but she should have been eliminated.
Camilla says that it's a little shady, but that they all saw the lip sync, and that Elisa winning was definitely because of her track record. Elisa rolls her eyes, saying that she's not going to get heated again because the conversation is a complete waste of time, and adding that they're only being so adamant on this because they want a threat like her to go home. Camilla laughs, saying that obviously they want that, why wouldn't they? Venti disagrees, and says that he only wants to win by beating the best, and Spinel agrees, saying what's the point if a crown is handed to you?
The smell of delusion is wafting through the air. Spinel and Venti, I love you both, but I need you to be so real. If Elisa had gone home there, Spinel would be letting off party poppers, and Venti would be doing actual poppers. None of us are above wanting a frontrunner to go home, it just makes sense. It's not like Elisa going home would suddenly make a weak queen win, you still need to be consistent, but it sure would clear the path a bit.
Spinel moves the conversation along, congratulating Celestia for her win this week. Celestia almost immediately says that she doesn't need praise from Spinel of all people, before taking a sip of her drink. Spinel seems alright for a moment, but after a few seconds, she gets visibly annoyed and asks Celestia why she acts like such a fucking monster. The queen's jaws drop.
Honestly, I've had it. I've been trying so hard to be kind after how I let the competition take hold of me at the start, but I won't just sit here like a punching bag. I asked her a very fair question. I expect a very true answer.
Venti jokingly asks if the old Spinel is back, and Spinel says no, she's just incredibly curious why Celestia feels the need to act this way. Celestia calmly says that she doesn't want compliments or criticism from someone whose drag isn't worth her respect. Spinel responds that she's sick of trying to be kind towards Celestia when she acts like she's above this competition, and Celestia says it's because she is. Arsene tells Celestia that nobody here is above this competition, and that she can't just say she's better than everyone just because she got another win this week, especially since Venti and Spinel also have 2 wins. Elisa chimes in that she also has 2 wins, and Arsene just looks at her.
Honestly, that's not worth arguing against. It won't get anywhere, I'm just ignoring it.
After a moment, Arsene continues, saying that he respects Celestia as a competitor, but that she already nearly went home because she couldn't force herself to stop being a bitch for 5 seconds. Sip speaks up, saying not to talk to her that way, and Elisa immediately fires back to just stay out of it. Sip raises his voice, shouting for everyone to please shut up already. The room goes quiet. Sip says that everyone did amazing this week, and that he wants to be happy for everyone, and be proud that he got back into the competition. He asks if everyone can stop bickering like children just this once and be happy for each other as sisters. After some time, Celestia sighs, and that for now she's willing to put the drama aside to celebrate that. Camilla says cheers to that, and the queens finish their drinks.